snuff movie. We're not going to have quite that much horror in the backyard tomorrow.
No, we're going to have pumpkins and candy corn.
Hope you can join us on News 3 at 5. Starts right after this.
Right now at 5, no one is in custody after a homicide in Dane County. We'll have a live update on the investigation.
Former Vice President Joe Biden is campaigning for Democrats in Wisconsin ahead of the November election.
And the Packers trade a pair of well-known players in the organization. We'll tell you who they are, where they're going, and what the Packers get in return.
This is News 3 at 5.
Thanks for staying with News 3. The Dane County Sheriff's Office is investigating a homicide in the town of Dane, just south of Lodi.
What was originally called in as a battery report with an unresponsive man quickly turned into a homicide. Amanda Quintana is live in downtown Madison following a news conference this afternoon. Amanda?
Yes, Sheriff Dave Mahoney just finished that press conference here at the Public Safety Building. He said nobody has been arrested and they are still trying to figure out what happened. But we do know what actually led up to that 911 call. That was just before 4:30 this morning. There were 3 or 4 people in the home on Highway 113 last night, including the man who is now dead. When a couple others arrived, a fight broke out and the victim was hurt badly.
At the conclusion of the confrontation, the deceased was left in the residence alone and severely injured. At approximately 4:20 a.m., one of those occupants of the residence returned and found the deceased unconscious and unresponsive.
That one person who returned to check on the man called 911. After first responders tried life-saving measures, he was pronounced dead. We still don't know who that victim is. That information should be released following an autopsy in the morning. And there are also a lot of other questions that we just do not have answered yet. Why nobody was arrested and what led up to that fight, Sheriff Dave Mahoney would not give that answer. He says if somebody is arrested, they will let us know, but they're still interviewing people to find out what really happened.
We'll continue to follow it. Amanda Quintana reporting live. Amanda, thanks.
The woman arrested for allegedly shooting and killing a man in a downtown parking ramp over the weekend was in court today. 21-year-old Kenyara Gadsden appeared this afternoon where a cash bond was set at $100,000. Gadsden accused of shooting Stephen Villegas around 2 Sunday morning. Officials said surveillance images and information from witnesses led to the arrest of Gadsden. She's expected back in court on Thursday.
The Beloit woman accused of sexually assaulting a man with a screwdriver appeared again in court today. Precious Bailey was arrested last week after the beating of a man she claims she saw abusing her child in a vision. Police say there was nothing wrong with the child. Bailey is being held on $25,000 cash bond. Her case will begin November 6th.
Crews have responded to multiple reports of lightning strikes in Dane County this afternoon, one of which likely caused a fire. A Dane County Communication Center dispatcher said there was was a report of a lightning strike at a house in Middleton. This was in the 4500 block of Ellington Way at about 2 this afternoon. The lightning is believed to be the cause of the fire at this home, where flames were visible from the roof. Officials say a mother and daughter were able to get out of the home after it caught fire. There were other reports of lightning strikes at a home in Middleton, a home on Madison's north side as well, and one at Duluth Trading Company in Belleville. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti joining us now in the Weather Center. Gary, you get a little of everything in October around here.
Yeah, we weren't expecting thunderstorms. The showers developed a little earlier than expected when the atmosphere was a little bit more unstable. That's why we're seeing the thunderstorms, but they're pretty much in the same area that we expected them to be, basically from Madison on toward the south and east. Areas north and west of Madison have not seen much, if any, in the way of rainfall. But you can see a couple of waves of showers and a few isolated thunderstorms coming through. Most of the thunderstorm activity now is farther to the south in northern Illinois. Just a few flashes of lightning for the showers that are coming through Dane County right now. Strongest storm cells are over southeastern Dane County, just south of Monona, and then some more in northern Illinois and east central Wisconsin. Some of those could actually be producing some small hail. Had a report of pea-sized hail from Andrew in Middleton earlier this afternoon. Low temperatures this morning started out right around the 40-degree mark. Very comfortable start to the day. High temperatures so far in the middle to upper 50s. A few places hit the 60-degree mark, but some of those temperatures have dropped as the rain has come through, like here in Madison. We're down to 51 degrees, where temperatures are still in the middle 50s out to the west. By tomorrow morning, the rain will be over with. Skies will be clearing. Temperatures will start in the lower 40s. Halloween looks to be pretty nice with partly sunny skies. Our high temperature at a very pleasant 56 degrees. That's your First Alert forecast.
Thank you, Gary. A dairy herd in Waunakee has tested positive for bovine tuberculosis, which can be spread to humans through unpasteurized milk or close contact with infected animals. The Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection says a meat inspector identified a carcass during a routine slaughter inspection at Meyer Farms LLC that tested positive for TB. The herd was immediately quarantined to prevent any animals from moving on or off the farm. Officials say the pasteurized milk is still safe to consume.
The Packers have traded away two of their players today. Green Bay's third-string running back, return man Ty Montgomery, traded to the Baltimore Ravens for a 7th-round pick in the 2020 NFL Draft. Montgomery, you'll recall, fumbled in the final minutes of Sunday's loss to the Rams. Also, safety HaHa Clinton Dix was traded today to the Washington Redskins just before the trade deadline. He was in the final year of his contract. The Packers will get a 4th-round pick in the 2019 draft in return for him. Well, with just a week until the midterm elections, it's down to the wire for Democrats hoping to keep their seat in the U.S. Senate and take control of the State House.
But they're hoping former Vice President Joe Biden might be able to help give them the edge they need. Rose Schmidt is here to share Biden's plea to voters in our state today.
That's right. Well, there are two top Democrats who Wisconsin candidates would want to make the case for them. And now they've both been here within less than a week of each other, with former President Barack Obama appearing last week in Milwaukee, and today former Vice President Joe Biden coming to UW-Madison, hoping to turn out young voters, the hardest demographic to reach.
Please join me in welcoming Vice President Joe Biden.
The former vice president joins a long list of big names to come to the Badger State.
Hello, Wisconsin.
1 week out from the midterm elections.
This is bigger than politics, this election. I mean, it really is bigger than politics.
Former Vice President Joe Biden emphasized what's at stake.
I think we're in a battle for America's soul, who we are as a country. I really do. We've been there before.
He urged a crowd of more than 1,000 people on the UW campus to vote blue, including Tony Evers for governor.
We're fired up because you know what? It is time for a change.
The former VP also called U.S. Senator Tammy Baldwin a champion in health care at a time when Democrats say coverage for people with pre-existing conditions is at stake.
There could not be a sharper contrast in my race for Senate of who's doing the bidding of the big insurance companies and who's fighting for you.
Democratic leaders are hoping to ride a blue wave throughout the country.
I am sick and tired of this administration. I'm sick and tired of what's going on.
Biden ending his speech with a call for civility to be brought back to American politics and a hope for voters across the state.
Get out and vote. Bring people to vote. Take back this incredible country.
A Marquette Law School poll last month showed Evers and Republican Governor Scott Walker were neck and neck in the race for governor, and Baldwin leading Republican Leah Vukmir in the race for U.S. Senate. And new poll results will be out tomorrow, so we'll have a better idea who's in the lead now.
All right, 1 week to go. Thank you, Rose.
Thanks, Rose.
Meanwhile, Governor Walker and Senator Ron Johnson are campaigning across the state today. Governor Walker and Senator Johnson made a stop at Renco Machine in Green Bay this morning. The governor says he plans to keep moving Wisconsin forward.
Tony Evers' plan that would be more spending and higher taxes. Tony wants to raise property taxes, income taxes, gas tax, raising taxes on manufacturers and farmers. Tony's taxes will cost us jobs. There's just no doubt about it.
And Vice President Pence will attend a rally with the governor on Saturday at a trucking company up in Hudson. Mayor Paul Soglin of Madison is encouraging city residents to vote ahead of Tuesday's election. In 1 week, voters will head to the polls to vote in many important races, including, as we mentioned, governor, Senate, and attorney general's races. Mayor Soglin says he believes Madison will have a record turnout.
We're clearly on our way to set a new record in regards to midterm elections. We should easily hit 70%. The bar for presidential elections is 80%. We'd really love to see 75%.
City Clerk Mary Beth Witzel-Bale says 2,700 people have now signed up to work at the polls during Tuesday's election. She says they are expecting a huge turnout and the staffing numbers are at presidential election levels.
DeForest Area School District is keeping part of the DeForest Area Middle School closed for the rest of the week while school officials work on a plan to remove mold from the building. 7th and 8th grade students will return to school Thursday and Friday, but the 5th and 6th grade students will not have class those days. Mold was found on the 7th and 8th grade side of the school Thursday. The district canceled class for 7th and 8th grade students yesterday and today to allow Public Health Madison and Dane County to investigate the issue.
Protesters shut down a Madison school board meeting last night, causing a delay in the vote to approve the district's proposed $415 million budget.
Those protesters chanted how they do not want a police presence in school and will not support a budget that puts money towards police instead of school counselors. Our Jamie Perez spoke with both sides about what happened last night, and she joins us now in our news center with more. Jamie?
So these particular protesters have been coming to board meetings for the last 2 years. Now, while something like this has never happened before, they say their message was loud and clear. The board ended the meeting before voting on the budget after protesters held up a banner and continued chanting, quote, "If we don't get it, shut it out," and "no cops in school." Their stance behind their beliefs is they feel cops make marginalized students feel targeted and say many have been assaulted by police officers on campus.
Investing money into police actually upholds white supremacy and supports violence against kids instead of supporting kids' education and kids' creativity and kids' dignity and respect.
I did also speak with the board president, Mary Burke, over the phone this afternoon. She said the protest last night was, quote, unacceptable. And while she welcomes input and concerns during any meeting, she says the board still needs to be able to conduct their normal order of business. The school board needs to make a decision on the budget by November 1st, which is this Thursday. Now, the district did say they will have a meeting tomorrow afternoon to decide on that budget. Mary Burke also added that student resources are built into that budget, and they do plan on renewing their contract with the EROs for next school year.
Jamie Perez in the newsroom. Jamie, thanks. There's more to come tonight at 5. When we come back, we'll break down the referendum for the Poynette School District ahead of next Tuesday's election.
And a quick check of Tuesday trading on Wall Street. The Dow soars 432 points. The Nasdaq added 111, and the S&P 500 gaining 41 at the closing bell. And we'll be back in a moment. Poynette will be among the Wisconsin communities voting on a school referendum this November 6th.
The school district is asking for over $58 million for a new elementary school, increased security at the high school, maintenance and improved classrooms.
Now, with Election Day on the horizon now, community members are making their final issue on the decision. Our Chris Lunenberg has more.
Oh, I think that's always a factor in any kind of referendum.
Britt Schinnenberg has been thinking about the future.
I've lived in the Poynette community for, well, it's well over 40 years.
The future of her family.
All three of our children went to Poynette. We have 3 grandchildren, who one has graduated from Poynette.
And Poynette's future, to be specific.
Keeping it a viable community.
She believes that the key to keeping the town prosperous is in its schools.
We want to take care of this community. And schools are, I know, a big part of a reason why young families will move into the area. They look at the school situation.
And the district seems to agree.
In a small town, the school is like the community center. Our list of needs significant and well beyond what we could even levy for.
According to the Poynette School District, their enrollment rates have been pretty flat, but that doesn't mean that the schools couldn't use some improvement.
Some of our classrooms are about 620 square feet. They're unair conditioned. Several of our elementary classrooms don't have access to natural light.
And that fact has some community members worried about the referendum. We spoke to some concerned residents who didn't want to go on camera. They told us that with stagnant enrollment rates, they think the district can make do. But looking at what the future holds in store, Schinnenberg hopes that what the district and the community came up with can keep them all together.
There are going to be future generations, and I would like to think that maybe some of our great-grandchildren will even be coming to Poynette.
For News 3, I'm Chris Lunenberg.
The school district says the tax impact would be about $139 per $100,000 of property value.
All right, we've been keeping a close eye on the weather today as we've seen some storms move through, and we talked about the lightning earlier. Gary Canopy and the rain on the backyard patio. Gary?
It's raining, but, you know, north and west of Madison, very little rain has fallen. So the rain has kind of come together right where we thought it would. It's just a little more widespread, a little more intense with some thunderstorms. But you can see north and west of Dane County, very little, or at least the north of Dane County, very little in the way of rain. South of the Wisconsin River, that's where most of the showers are. And you can see the heavier thunderstorms down across northern Illinois near Belvedere and heading into the northern and northwestern suburbs of Chicago. As we put the radar into motion, you can see one line of showers and storms come through. Still have a few more showers and isolated thunderstorms that have developed behind the main line. It's actually right ahead of a cold front, which is pushing through southern Wisconsin. Winds will shift around to the northwest, and the air will dry out, so most of the rain should be over with by midnight, and that will actually set up a nice Halloween. Notice to the west, there's really no precipitation across Minnesota or western Iowa, so we just have to get this precipitation through, and then for the trick-or-treaters this time tomorrow, instead of looking like this, they can dress up in their costumes and not have to worry about the rain. Partly sunny skies, mid-50s by the time the trick-or-treaters start after school, and by the time trick-or-treating ends around 8 o'clock, look for skies to cloud up a little bit, but no rain expected. Temperatures will be in the middle 40s. As we look at the time-lapse from the WISC Skycam, this is looking off toward the west, you can see how these showers have developed and basically moved on through with the rain that's coming through right now. The live view from the WISC Skycam shows that it is raining pretty steadily here on the west side of town. The umbrella that I'm holding isn't a clue. The Platteville-Quimby Radio Skycam looking back toward the east shows most of the showers now clearing east of Platteville. The Edgewater Skycam in downtown Madison showing the rain downtown as well. As we check out the almanac for today, the high hit 56 before the rain started. Low temperature at 41, so a little bit above the averages of 53 and 40. And right now we're at 51 degrees. The air is calm, skies are cloudy. Rain hasn't quite got to the airport yet. Temperatures range from the 40s in the northern part of the state to the lower 50s here. Notice behind that cold front, temperatures really don't drop off a lot. Although farther to the south where the sun is shining, temperatures are in the 70s over eastern Illinois. But you can certainly see where the front is. The wind shift going from the southeast and south over southeastern Wisconsin to the northwest, just to the west of Madison. We're right about underneath the front. That's why the air is very light here. As we look at weather tracking, you see those showers and storms They're moving eastward along with the jet stream, and then skies clear out across the Dakotas and much of Minnesota. That clearing will be in here for tomorrow, setting up a pretty nice day. As far as the weather map is concerned, there's the cold front moving on through, and temperatures to the west, not a lot cooler, just by a few degrees more. We'll see more of the cooling at night than we will during the day. So on future track, once the clouds clear out by early tomorrow morning, we're looking for a nice start to the day, and tomorrow we'll look for partly sunny skies with high temperatures in the middle to upper 50s across much of southern Wisconsin. Showers and evening thunderstorms mainly from Madison toward the south and east will end by about midnight. Then skies will start clearing late with a low of 40. Tomorrow's high 56 with partly sunny skies, so a very nice Halloween forecast. On future track, you can see the rain moving out overnight. By morning, skies will be clearing. Temperatures down to around 40. Tomorrow, look for high temperatures in the middle to upper 50s. For tomorrow night, with mostly clear skies, temperatures will drop into the middle 30s. And then Thursday, just a little cooler with high temperatures in the lower 50s. 7 to 10 day forecast calls for temperatures to be a little cooler at the end of the week. I have taken the rain chances out for Friday and Saturday, and the rain snow chances for Saturday night and Sunday, just mainly rain chances now. Showers will continue into Election Day Tuesday. By late Tuesday night and early Wednesday morning, it could be a little snow mixing in before it turns colder and drier at the end of the week. Temperatures only in the lower 40s and upper 30s by the end of next week. As we look at first alert traffic, of course, wet time on the Beltline. We're seeing some delays. That's at Verona Road, looking eastbound on the Beltline. You can see stop-and-go traffic in the eastbound direction. Delays now eastbound running from Monona Drive to west of Verona Road. Westbound delays start around Fish Hatchery Road and head back toward John Nolan Drive. A little over a half-hour commute now in the eastbound direction between University Avenue and the interstate. 23 minutes going back in the westbound direction. Heading out of Madison, about a half-hour trip down to Janesville on I-3990. 20 minutes to Sauk City on US 12, and 19 minutes out to Sun Prairie on US 151. That's your first alert traffic.
All right, thanks, Gary. Come on in.
Gary, thank you. Ahead on News 3 at 5, mobster James Whitey Bulger is dead. His death now being investigated as a homicide. We'll have the very latest. Stay with us. Prison union officials say the death of Boston gangster James Whitey Bulger is being investigated as a homicide.
Bulger was found dead this morning following a transfer to West Virginia's Hazeltown High Security Penitentiary. Bulger was serving a life sentence for a 2013 conviction on a laundry list of crimes, including playing a role in at least 11 murders. His criminal enterprise ran loan sharking, gambling, and drug rackets in Boston during the 70s and 80s.
President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump arrived in Pittsburgh to pay tribute to 11 people who were gunned down at a synagogue Saturday. The Democratic governor of Pennsylvania and Democratic mayor of Pittsburgh did not want the president to visit while people were mourning the victims' deaths. The shooting, the worst attack on Jews in the nation's history. The Trumps were joined by Ivanka and her husband, Jared Kushner. One of their stops will include laying white roses and a stone from the White House for each of the victims at a makeshift memorial outside the Tree of Life Synagogue.
President Trump is preparing to challenge a 150-year-old constitutional standard that anyone born in America becomes an American citizen. The president told the political news site Axios that he plans to sign an executive order to, quote, remove the right to citizenship for babies of non-citizens and unauthorized immigrants born on U.S. soil.
Now, how ridiculous. We're the only country in the world where a person comes in, has a baby, and the baby is essentially a citizen of the United States for 85 years with all of those benefits. It's ridiculous.
I think it's a pretty legally dubious claim, but he says, no, I've got people that say I can. And by the way, he has stacked the courts with a lot of conservatives, and I think some of his confidence might come from that.
The Trump administration is also launching a major military operation on the U.S.-Mexico border to prevent a caravan of refugees from entering the U.S.
And stay with us. We'll have one more check of your forecast in just a moment.
Think the rain will be coming to an end?
Yeah, by mid to late evening, most areas will probably see it over with. Temperatures right now cooler down here in Madison just because of the rain coming through, but notice out to the west, temperatures still mid to upper 50s. High resolution Doppler radar, you can see those showers up to the north, but those are basically heading away. That's the northern edge of the rain. As we look at the 7-day forecast, you can see dry weather for tomorrow, Halloween, also for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Some rain showers early next week, and then much cooler at the end of next week.
Gary, thanks for joining us. We'll see you in 30 minutes for News 3 at 6, and the CBS Evening News is next.